Welcome back to the channel, my people. This is LFC Plavi, and it is Liverpool 1, Real Madrid 0. And this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what we've all been waiting for. We've all been crying for Liverpool to be able to win games and keep the opponent from scoring. Now it's 2-2, clean sheets, and I'm absolutely buzzing for this result. I'm not going to say this is the end of anything or the start of anything yet. I need to see this run of form continue for about 4 or 5 games in a row, and then I'll be able to say that indeed Liverpool are out of that slump. And we're always going to get out of that slump. But in terms of this game specifically, it was absolutely dominated by Liverpool. When you look at the stats and the eye test that we saw from the game, just by watching the game, clearly Liverpool dominated the game. I don't like to go into stats just to rely only on the stats to make my point, but I really want to use the stats insofar as it supports my eye test, what I saw from the game. And the stats that I'm seeing here absolutely backs everything we saw in this game. We dominated most of this game. We created the best chances in the game. We had the most big chances in the game. And we absolutely limited Madrid from getting anything out of the game. Of course, in the course of watching the game, you feel like they can get something out of the game. But after watching it, after the whistle blows for the end of the game, you realize that this was a comfortable win. It was an absolutely comfortable one. They didn't really pose much of a threat in this game. Liverpool had 39% of the ball and 61% of possession went to Madrid. And this is what I've been talking about. When we meet teams that want to give you the ball and play on the counter, why not give them the ball, force them to play? Because today that is exactly what we did. We gave Madrid the ball to play, come at us, try and break us down, and they had no answers to that question. They had absolutely no answers. They just couldn't fashion a chance from pinning us back. The only way they could get a goal was to play on the counter attack, and they got a few opportunities playing that way, but it wasn't much because they were in possession for most of the time with 61% of the ball. Expected goals, Liverpool had 2.58 expected goals as against Madrid's 0.45. Total shots, Liverpool had 17 against Madrid's 8. Big chances created, Liverpool created 4 big chances against Madrid's 1 big chance. Now, I wouldn't go into the stats too much. I want to look at individual plays and also talk about first half and the second half. Today, I just want to give kudos to Conor Bradley, the defensive wall of Liverpool. He was absolutely sensational. You just couldn't get past Conor Bradley. Vinicius Jr. today was a shadow of himself because of Conor Bradley. And don't forget that last season, in the same fixture, Conor Bradley made sure Kylian Mbappe had no joy coming to Anfield. And today, he did the job on Vini. Overall, the entire defensive performance of the team was absolutely top-notch. This is what we need to be doing going forward. This is how we need to be playing going forward. Giving opponents nothing to sniff at. Giving them no encouragement whatsoever. Because when I look at this Liverpool team, we have the firepower up front to be able to play on the counter-attack. And the kind of players we have up front, Salah, Ekitike, Vets, Gordy Gakpo, if we defend solidly and play on the counter, we will hurt so many teams so many times. So for me, I think in most of the games, especially given that we are going to play against Manchester City this weekend, this is exactly what we need to do. It is an away game. And I really want to see Liverpool go away to a big team like Manchester City and beat them. Have a good game as well, a good performance, and beat them. So that was what I wanted to say about Conor Bradley. I think today he was my man of the match. Of course, there's going to be a good shout for most of the players because all over the team, it was absolutely good from all the players. Every single one of them played their heart out and they played exceptionally well. Florian Wirtz, I've criticized him throughout the season for some poor performances, some poor decisions that he's took when he's had the ball, not being decisive enough. But I think he's really cut out for the Champions League. He needs to start all the Champions League games, if not in the Premier League. Because I think in the Champions League, the way opponents play against Liverpool really suits his game. And it allows him to be able to express himself more. He has more time on the ball, he has more space, and he's able to influence the game much more profoundly. So Florian Wirtz today, he was excellent. As usual, we can't go without mentioning the name of Dominic Szoboszlai. That guy is an absolute engine. And he keeps running and running and running and running. And the fact that he keeps running doesn't prevent him from being excellent on the ball as well. Today he had about 2 shots on goal. One of them was almost given as a penalty. And my view on that penalty is that it shouldn't be given as a penalty. For me, I know that this is it is one of those incidents that could go either way. But for me, I wouldn't be happy for such a penalty to be given against my team. So I don't want it to be given against an opponent. That is my view on this particular penalty. And the reason why I say that is Tchouaméni was just too close. He was just too close to Szoboszlai when he shot the ball. And he was turning away from the ball. I mean, there's nothing he could have done about it. And for me, in my view, his left arm was close enough to his body for me to say that he wasn't trying to make himself bigger than he is. So for me, that wasn't a penalty. And I'm very happy they took their time and got to that right decision. In the end, the best team still won. In the end, the best team still won. And in football games like this, you always want the best team to win fairly and not through the referee's influence. So Dominic Szoboszlai was good. He was absolutely sensational in that first half with a couple of shots from outside the box that Courtois also stood up to. Today, Courtois was their best player, Madrid. And he has always been whenever Madrid comes to town. Courtois is the one who saves them. And he nearly did that today. But it wasn't to be because Alexis McAllister was there to nod it home from close range. And we've said a lot about McAllister and his form this season. It hasn't been good enough at certain points in the season, but in the last 2 games against Aston Villa and in this particular game against Madrid, he's been excellent. He has been excellent. He ran the midfield. I remember a tackle he made on Jude Bellingham in the first half, just right in their half. And I was absolutely like, yeah, get in there for me. That is exactly the kind of tackles that I want Liverpool players to be making. Putting themselves wholeheartedly into the tackle, making sure that they are bullying opponents. Not wrongly, not to get red cards, but the right way. Get the ball, make sure they know you are there. And that is exactly what we did today. Today, I also give kudos to Mo Salah. Mo Salah was absolutely sensational. He tried to dribble in a few cases and couldn't get the right body shape and position to get the ball past Carreras. But for the most part, he had him on toast. For the most part, Carreras was struggling. He was on the back foot. He was backpedaling. Just the opposite of what Conor Bradley and Vinicius Jr. had today. Vinicius Jr. had nothing against Conor Bradley. And at the same time, it was such a joy watching Mo Salah cooking that Madrid defense. Hugo Ekitike is the one I'm going to turn to next. He had a good game today. I think especially in the second half. In the first half, it was a bit on and off. He had few opportunities where there were those diagonal passes that Conor Bradley was trying to make straight to him, and he took it very well whenever those passes came. I think there were 2 or 3 of those passes that went into his feet, and he took the ball on, but then he couldn't turn. He couldn't turn and face the defender and try to beat him. He was a bit slow, using the ball to create danger. But I think overall in the second half, he came in and really put the Madrid defense under some pressure. So he had a good game today. He's currently our best attacker. He's currently our best attacker, and I think he should start every game if he's fit and firing. Of course, Alexander Isak is going to be fit and will be back in the team very soon. But I think for now, our best 11 should always include Hugo Ekitike if he's fit and firing. So overall, I think it is an absolute joyous day out. We've beaten Real Madrid. We've beaten Aston Villa. And all I can say is that let's keep this up. Let's keep this going. And if we can do this, then the season is not over yet. The season will not be over for us yet. We still need to see more of this, for sure. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we are back. I'm not saying this is the end. But if we can keep this going for the next 2 to 3 games, then indeed we are absolutely back. Before I go, just a quick one on the Alexander Arnold. He came on 10 minutes to go. And all I can say is that if you push for a move to a team that doesn't value enough, they don't value you enough to pay a transfer fee for you, then this is what happens. When you come back to play against your former team, they only give you 10 minutes. And they only give you the 10 minutes because they were down. If they were winning, maybe you wouldn't have come on. But he left a team where he could have been the main man to a team where he's just one of the men. So that is the case of Alexander Arnold that I wanted to highlight. Thank you for listening. You'll never walk alone. Take care. See ya.